Last time I built this amazing starter home, but now it's time to expand. We're going to transform all this land into our expanding village. And to do that, we're going to need a lot of resources. And I mean a lot of resources. So today we're going to build 10 new automatic farms that will help us get all the resources that we need to transform this place. But before we even start thinking about building, we've got to clean this place up. So here we go, chopping down all the trees that I'd placed and chopping down the cherry trees as well. We don't need any of them around here. Also, this land needed a lot of flattening out. And a few hours later, we are now ready to start building on this land. So the first farm we're going to put together today is a mud farm. I don't have a decent way to get any kind of mud. So a mud farm will fix that for us. And it's going to go right over here behind this chicken. Well, that is the mud farm all done. All we are missing now is a nice build to hide this monstrosity, and we'll get to that. We're also missing glass bottles, so we took a trip over to see Mad Tiger, who has got villagers. He gave us a shulker full of glass, which I then changed into bottles, and we're now up and running with endless amounts of mud. So I'm thinking we do the build in the same style that we've done this house. So we'll grab some terracotta, some brick, and some sandstone, as well as some stone, a touch of cobblestone, and maybe some of the decorative stones. Good, let's go and build. So getting on with our first build of the day, and keeping this one quite simple, I built a bit of a tower in the middle out of the blocks we just grabbed. This will be the main storage area for our beautiful mud. And from here, I added a kind of covered patio area for the mud farm itself. So now we can come over here to the farm, grab a shovel, grab a little bit of dirt, put that into our offhand, and then stand here, face up, and mud we get. And then the mud we get from that, I did have a chest down there, but I've altered it, so the mud, hopefully, comes there. Happy days. Good. Next up, we can make use of those mud blocks, combine them with wheat to make packed mud. But my problem is, that's my wheat farm, is small, not good enough. So to expand our lands, we are going to make an automatic wheat farm, and it is going to go right there. For this wheat farm to work, I'm going to need some villagers, which we can get from Mad Tiger's place. And don't worry, I had permission. After much messing around with these guys, I finally got 2 of them over to the area that we're going to be building and started the process of breeding them up. We're going to need 6 of these villagers for this farm to work properly. And alongside these villagers, we're going to need 6 allays. So that means going out into the wild to find the little blue dudes. I ended up traveling a few thousand blocks before finding a pillager outpost that hadn't been raided, managing to grab 2 of them before starting the long journey back home. After placing my beacon, I'm now going to get on with digging a big hole where we can put our farm. There are going to be 6 layers to this farm, so we will need a villager and an ally on each level. Getting them in shouldn't be too hard. This farm will provide more than enough wheat to give us access to one of my favourite blocks in the game, the packed mud. And there we go, all done. The farm is now in, and it seems to be working quite well, so I'm just going to put down a temporary chest there, collect all our goodies, while we go up and build our building to collect it all up at the top. Moving on to the barn, I had most of the resources needed to build it. However, I just needed to go and get a load of spruce wood from the nearby forest. Starting off with the build, I made some space around the area so we could fit our barn in, before building the base out of terracotta and brick. The upper walls were made out of the little bit of sandstone that I had left, and all that was topped off with a spruce and dark oak roof. I also added a little tower to the side of the build. This was made out of the packed mud, which we now have easy access to. Moving on to the interior, I want to keep this nice and simple. All we need is a place to store our lovely wheaty goodness. And for this, just a load of chests with hoppers all along the back of them so we can easily route all the wheat from down below up to here. The ground needs to look like it's been walked on, so let's get rid of all this grass and even under the chests, and we can replace it all with coarse dirt and packed mud. Much better. For the upstairs, we can just make a little hayloft just to store all our lovely hay bales. That's farm number 2, up and running, and the decoration yet again will come later. And over here, before we cleared up, we had a load of bees. I want to put them back for the next farm, but in a better place where we can collect all their goodies nice and easy. They are going here. I've put all the nests in here for safekeeping. So what I want to do is check that we've got 3 bees in each one of these. Ooh, that rhymed. And as it turns out, I didn't have 3 bees in each of these. So cue the next few hours of breeding up the bees. With all the little bees all bred up, it's now time to take a trip back to the desert. I need a lot of sandstone for the builds back home. And I'm actually liking how the colour scheme is working. Right, now that I have enough, we can take a little detour on the way back home. I'm after a warm ocean. We need to get hold of a couple of sniffer eggs. Spoiler alert, I'm going to build a sniffer farm. A bit later on. Okay, now that we're back home, we can start on giving these little guys a forever home. Let's grab a few blocks, and remember, we're keeping this within the same colour scheme so it fits the rest of our village. And there we have it, the main part of the build done. No, 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 no. I'm building, leave me alone. Okay, let's dance. You're wrecking my wheat field. There we go, those guys are dealt with, and now I can finish off the build with the section that we're actually going to put the bees into. To make this fully automatic, with as little interaction as possible needed from us, we're going to need redstone. So let's place all this down here. Also, to give the bees a nice home to live in, they're going to need a bed of decoration and some flowers. So let's change the ground up a little bit, add some leaves, as well as some of the cherry tree leaves for just a little bit of colour, and a load of different flowers. That should make the bees happy. And this place is actually looking really nice now. That there. So the bees can't get out. Right, we can now put the bees in. Welcome home, guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bees. Yes, 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 yes. We have got a working farm. Woohoo! This place is really starting to look like a village now, but we still have so much more to go. With those farms sorted, we can now move on to farm number 4. And that is going to give us a load of blocks that we can use to pretty this place up, as well as give us a load of bone meal. And that farm is going over here on this little bit of land, and luckily, there's a little cave below it where we can plonk our farm right underneath it. That's right, we're hiding this farm away again, and then we can pipe it all up there. If you've not guessed it already, we're building a moss farm. And for this build, I'm going to need redstone. However, that's all I've got. Well, off we go down to the caves again to find as much redstone as we possibly can. Ah, child! Nope. 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 Nope, child. Ow. Oh no, another child. No, I'm stuck in a corner. Oh, you set me on fire. Back to getting more redstone after being rudely interrupted. But now I think we have enough. Let's get back up to the top and see how much redstone dust we can get out of all this. Right, all that redstone should keep me going for a while. Wow, we got a load from that. Good. Now it's dark. Sleep before badness. Placing down our beacon again, it's now time to do some more digging. My poor, poor pickaxe. We need to clear out this cave just a little bit so that we could fit this massive farm inside it. I want to go big on this thing so that we will never have to worry about getting moss ever again. And to also get enough bone meal so that we can power all our farms that need it and maybe build a shop in the future so we can make the monies. So the farm is done and it is all working. It's currently not on at the minute because I've got nowhere for the goodies to go. But now it's time to put a build around this. We can't just have that showing because that is janky and horrible. Moving on to the main build now, I think we're going to need a lot of storage for this farm. So on one side, we'll have all the moss bits, and the other we'll save for the bone meal. To get the goodies up from the bottom, we'll just use an easy water elevator. Moving on to the build now, one wall I'm going to do this completely different from the rest of the building. There we go, that's the first wall in, and that signifies that this is actually the moss farm. That looks pretty cool. As for the rest of the building, I went for some blocks that I've never actually used in a building before. Dirt blocks. I also brought some colour into the roof by using some stripped bamboo planks, and the addition of a yellow terracotta gives it a little bit of texture. Farm number 4 done, and we're going well. Next up is another build before we start decorating this place, and that is going to go right here. Every world, or every Mediterranean world, needs a vineyard or a winery. So we're going to utilize the mud blocks that we've got in here, combine those with all the wheat that we've been getting. Oh, this is working well. Yeah, we need packed mud blocks. Shulker full of packed mud. Oh, I love these farms. Got so much wheat. For our next item, I don't have a farm for it, so we're going to have to do it the old school way. Get my axe. Jungle wood. Where's the jungle? After not very long of searching, I found the jungle. So let's get to chopping. One full shulker box of jungle logs. Next up, we're getting brown mushroom blocks. But I need to get silk touch on this axe, so over to Mad's we are. Thank you very much, Mad. Should have one. There we go. So, you in there. Silk touch. Boom. And that's a full shulker box of them. Good. Just a few more bits. We should have these in here, so we're looking for a little bit of terracotta. Oh, that's not enough. I need to go to the mesa. Terracotta. I've run out. There we go, fully stocked up on that as well. Just a quick stop to the ender to repair all our tools. Oh dear, this is so low. But now we've got all them fixed, it's time to work on the next build. This one is kind of in the same colour as the other builds, but now we're starting to use a load more of the pack mode that we have access to. Looking good. Now the farm. The farm is going to go in the tower. And it's just going to be a nice, quick and easy cactus farm, I think. And then we can have the storage maybe in this kind of room. Like I said, all the storage in the little room here where we can use barrels to store it all. Routing all the cactus into them with hoppers. And then from there, it's just a case of building a few layers so we can get a decent amount of cactus from this farm. And I'm sure most of you will have seen these farms many, many times before. So, I won't go into depth. No, we're not open yet, guys. Go away. We're not open. Oh, rude. It's a bit much just because I said it's not open. The wine isn't even growing yet. Go away. Wow, those guys really want to drink a wine. We're not open. Ow. Let that be a warning to anybody else that wants to be violent just because we're not open. With the final few cactus going on, that is it. The farm is done. It is done, isn't it? It is done. It is done. We are done. If we just come round to the front here, I've put a little flooring in. Nothing special. Just a little flooring, and I've tidied this up a bit. And we've got a little viewing window here. And it's been going for a little bit. We've got that much. Nope, that's my shovel. Farm number 5, done. Next up, it's time that we sorted this place out. It needs decoration and it needs roads. I mean, it's a village after all. We need to get around. But first, I tidy this shulker monster up. Much better. Right, roads. So carrying on with our style of road, grabbing some andesite, cobble and tuff, we can now link up all our buildings with our road. Doing this makes it all look more like a village that is lived in, and also brings a bit of realism to your builds. And now that we've got the roads in, we now know where we can place the next build. And for this, I'm going to need a lot of azalea wood, and especially the flowering azalea leaves. Moving on, we can now start on the vineyard, and that is going to go right around here. I'm thinking we need a nice new entrance for the vineyard, which we can get to from our road. And there we go, that should do it. Yeah, I like that. The vineyard now needs a wall all the way around it to protect our precious grapes from those thirsty mobs that don't want to wait. See what you're making me do, pillagers. There we go. That looks big enough. It looks massive, actually. And for the grapes, we're going to use the flowering azalea leaves. To me, these little purple flowers look like grapes, so they are perfect. And I've put the vineyard on this bit of land as we have a little bit of a slope to it, which apparently the grape trees like. So a bit of realism in Minecraft for you. That's the vineyard in, and that is looking absolutely fantastic. Oh, I like that. Now, as promised, it's time to add decoration and life around the area to make it really pop. Starting at the mud farm, I added some kilns, showing where we can actually make the packed mud. Around the bee farm, we can add some containers of honey and honeycomb, along with a load of greenery. And I also used some of the remaining beehives that we have left over to create a little bee garden where the bees can roam free, just adding that little bit more life to the area. And check out that little cart transporting the honey to other places around the village. Maybe it's going to the vineyard to help make drinks? I don't know. Speaking of vineyard, we need some seating out the front of it if we're going to get any visitors at all. They can now sit down and have a great view over the plantation. Nice. I also added some custom trees to the area, which I think makes it pop even more. I love this place now. The transformation on this place is incredible. Look at it. We've actually brought life to the area now. And it's such a nicer place to live. But we've still got loads more builds to go. I'm sorry, so we better get on with it. So on to the next farm, and we are going to utilize these guys, the sniffer eggs. Yes. I want pitcher pods and torch flowers to decorate this place with, and we're going to put these guys here. This seems like the perfect place. I need to get rid of all this grass. So much grass. Good, nice and clear. So next up, I'm going to have to put a place where they can live. Fences will work. There we go. Sufficiently lived in. Next up, before I put in the collection system, we might as well place these guys down. And for the collection system, I'm just going to go for the good old minecart collection underneath the ground. I mean, it seems to work good enough for me. From there, I want all the goodies to go into a storage system. So for this, I'm just going to make a nice, easy shack. Nothing too special to see here. There you go. You can keep yourself dry. Yes, you're using that as intended. Oh, I like this. Good. I've got a working sniffer farm with a pretty simple barn just for collection. It's dead simple. And we're collecting stuff. Look at that. Farm number whatever done. Now it's time to rectify a problem we've got. That's my fireworks supply at the minute. I don't have any gunpowder. This is my gunpowder chest. No gunpowder. And up here is my sugarcane chest. Again, we're not looking too healthy. So to help us rectify this problem, I'm going to try and make a deal with one of the guys on the server. He's got lots and lots of gunpowder. The only farm we'll have to make is a sugarcane farm. And that is going right over there where that beacon is conveniently placed. Right, Mr. Fish, I have got the deal of all deals for you. I am a man in desperate need of fireworks. That is my firework box. I know you are a man with much gunpowder. How would you feel if we did a deal? A deal where I could have access to all your gunpowder, and you could have, in return, you could have access to anything in the moss and bone meal thing, shop, farm, up there.
Perfect. That's a good deal. That's a good deal.
So with that done, on to farm number 7, I think. 7, yeah. We need to dig a big hole because we're going to do pretty much the exact same farm as we've got over in our bamboo farm, but with sugarcane. That is now farm number 7 complete, and we have got an endless supply of rockets when we need it. Next up, a farm that is going to contain 3 farms, and those are going to be for decorational blocks. So we're looking at glowberries, hanging roots, and probably one of my favourite blocks in the game, glow lichen. That way we can light this place up without using a load of torch spam or hiding lighting away. It's amazing stuff. And the farm is going to go right up there. And for this small build, yeah, you've guessed it, we're staying with pretty much the same colours, but with the addition of bone blocks. As you can imagine, with that moss farm, I've got plenty of them now, so we may as well use them. Right, that's the mini itty bitty little build put in. Look at it. Now it's time to put the farms in, and I'm thinking, because we're going to need the most room for it, we can put the glow lichen in this side, and maybe the other one's up top in that room up there to make use of it. Maybe just a living room here or something. Now, if we switch that on, we should get 3 at a time. This will collect us loads. Okay, so that one, boom, and then we should, oh yeah, Oh, wow. Look how quick it goes. Glowberries. Go. Oh. Yes. Look at that. Already. Oh, yeah. Let's turn you off. Loads of bone meal. Easy to keep stocked up since we've got our bone meal farm down there. But that is all 10 automatic farms now in. Just a small matter of decorating this place and making it fit like the rest of our place does. I kind of lost all my recording, so here is the area before the decoration and once it's all been completed. Well, we started off with a bare bit of land, but now we have got a village that I can be proud of. This place looks absolutely amazing. I'm so happy. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed it too. And if you're still here, please leave a like and subscribe. You might as well. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Laters.